To start our first chapel, I thought I would begin by telling you a little bit about how I came to Rosemark. Basically, about probably 6 years ago, I was contacted by Tipton-Rosemark, and my son was in high school at the time, and he was happy, and he had friends, and he was playing football and all those great things, and I was happy. And I talked to a board member who really, his story of his years at Rosemark was so inspiring, and he told me so much about it. You could tell his love for the school was so real, and I had the conversation with him, and I told him that the timing was not right for me, but I was so impressed with his story that I started watching Rosemark. And every time I got the paper, I'd look at the football score, I'd look at the softball score, the baseball score, and see how Rosemark had done. And then a funny thing happened. God, a couple of years later, he kept keeping Rosemark on my mind. A friend of mine told me that there was this great school in Chattanooga that he wanted me to look at. And he kept talking to me. He would not let it go. And every time I'd see him, he'd talk to me about this great school in Chattanooga. And you've got to look at this school. So finally, kind of to get him off my back, I went and I looked at this school. And I went to look at it, and it was on this website called the National Association of Independent Schools, and I went to look at it. And so I really wasn't all that serious about it. I went to look at it so I could tell him I went. And so I checked it out, clicked on head of school, clicked on Tennessee, and what came up? God sent up Tipton-Rosemark Academy. And when I saw it, I felt so called, and I felt so convicted that I called Tipton-Rosemark and I said, hey, I really wanted to talk to you guys. You guys called me a few years ago, and I just wanted to see if you're interested still. And long story short, God worked, and here I am. So it was a wonderful thing, and I truly believe that God brought me to Rosemark.
So when Andy found out he was coming to Tipton-Rosemark, it was a little scary for me because I had taught for 12 years middle school math at Battleground Academy where we were in Franklin. And so I started getting my resume together to send it to private schools in Memphis because I didn't know, some schools don't let people who are married to each other work in the same school, so we didn't know. And so I got my resume ready and got it ready to send out. And Andy mentioned it to the board at TRA that I was going to be looking for a job in a private school in Memphis, and a couple of them said, well, give us her resume because, we know several people in private schools and we can get her resume out there and everything. And so once they looked at my resume and they thought about it, they said, well, why doesn't she apply here? And so we were excited because we didn't know that we could both be at the same school, and it's been wonderful. And we've both have loved being back in a Christian school after not being in one for Andy for 14 years and me for 12 before we came to TRA. And it's just been a blessing, all of the students and faculty and everything at TRA. And I feel like God has really blessed the school since we've been here as well. So it's just been a great move for both of us. So.
The other thing I will say is that I can't imagine my life without the students that I've had here, and without the faculty members that I've met here, and without the community that I've gotten to know here. And so God works sometimes in mysterious ways, and but really, really powerful ways.